All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about a method that's completely flipping the script on high performance. We're going way beyond the usual tactics to get to the heart of what actually drives incredible results. And it really all starts with this one question. You've seen it, I've seen it, it's this paradox. You have these brilliant, talented people who know their industry inside and out, but they just can't seem to bring it home consistently, especially when the pressure's on. So what's going on there?
And yeah, this whole performance paradox thing, it shows up in some really familiar and honestly frustrating ways. You get that constant churn, that high activity, but the results are just all over the map. You see massive burnout and people leaving. You've got your star players who should be crushing it, suddenly fumbling the ball when it matters most. And maybe the worst part, the team knows exactly what to do, they just can't make themselves do it.
So what's the usual fix? More training, right? More scripts, more tactics, more playbooks. But what we're looking at today suggests that's like trying to fix a slow computer by polishing the screen. You're working hard, but you're working on the completely wrong problem. This slide really lays it all out. On the left, you've got the old way. It's all about behavior, what you do. It relies on tactics, scripts, and a ton of external pressure. And sure, you might get these little spikes in performance, but it's not consistent, it's not sustainable. Now look at the right. The Iam wave flips that entire model. It focuses on your internal state, basically how you are. This is about your identity, about internal coherence, and the result? Real, sustainable performance that grows over time.
So, if the problem isn't a lack of knowledge or skill, then what is it? Well, this method says the real bottleneck, the true constraint on your performance, is what's called your internal operating system.
And what in the world is that? Okay, think about it like this. Your skills and all that knowledge you have, that's your software. But your internal operating system, that's the hardware everything runs on. It's this deep combination of your nervous system, the way you perceive the world, and your core identity. And that system is what's really calling the shots when things get tough.
Okay, this slide is huge. This is the causal chain of performance, and the order here is absolutely critical. See, it all starts with your internal state. That state then drives your behavior. Over time, that behavior reinforces your identity, who you fundamentally believe you are. And once that identity is locked in, it creates stable, predictable results. So you see, if you want different results, you can't just tinker with your behavior. You have to go all the way back to the beginning and master your state.
So, how on earth do you upgrade your internal hardware? Well, that's exactly where the Iam method comes into play. And it's not just another training program, it's framed as a fundamental upgrade to your own biology.
The way this whole system is built is actually pretty genius. It's broken into two parts. You have the hardware, which is built on 10 scientific pillars from neuroscience and quantum physics. Think of this as the machine itself. Then you have the software, which is made up of 27 emotional codes. These are the programs that run on hardware. Now, for this explainer, we're just going to peek at the hardware to really get the foundation.
Now, I know this can all sound a little abstract, upgrading your hardware, quantum physics, so let's make it super concrete. We're going to take a look inside two of the core hardware modules. One is from the neuro side, all about your brain, and the other is from the quantum side, which is all about the vibe and the intention you put out there.
First up, let's talk about the neuro pillar. This is the first module, and it's called Neural Authority. The whole point of this one is to learn how to master your body's own biological stress response.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The key is to stop your own brain from freaking out. Because if you go into a conversation feeling panicked or desperate, the client's brain literally picks up on that as a threat, and their instinct is to back away. So how do you actually do it? Well, the science is all about learning to regulate your amygdala. That's the little alarm system in your brain that triggers fight or flight. The practice is surprisingly simple. It involves using specific breathwork techniques to literally shift your brain waves out of that high-stress beta state into a calm, focused alpha state. And the outcome? You walk into any room, any call, any meeting with the biological signature of a leader, not someone who's just seeking approval.
All right, next up is the quantum pillar. Module 2, quantum presence. And like we said, this one's all about that energy, that perceptual side of influence, the vibe you give off before you even open your mouth.
This quote just gets right to it. And we've all felt this, right? You can just sense when someone is confident or when they're nervous, sometimes from across the room. Their energy really does get there before their words do. That internal expectation you hold becomes a tangible feeling for other people.
The science here is inspired by a really wild idea from quantum physics called the observer effect, which basically says that the act of observing something can influence its reality. So the practice here is to mentally rehearse and feel the win as if it's already a done deal. You're essentially collapsing that future reality into your present moment. The outcome is incredible. You start projecting this frequency of certainty that makes people trust you before you've even made your case.
So as we pull all these pieces together, you start to see what the ultimate goal of the IAM method really is. It's not about learning a new list of things to do. It's about a fundamental shift in who you are being.
This quote right here, it just says it all. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. It's such a powerful idea that our external results are nothing more than a perfect reflection of our internal identity.
And this is the final shift that's all about. You move from that constant struggle of doing sales, of pushing and grinding, to the effortless state of being an influencer. You stop trying so hard to do the thing, and you simply become the person for whom those actions are natural and easy.
And that really just leaves us with one last powerful question to think about. If your performance is just a mirror, if your results are just a reflection of your identity, then the most important question you can ask isn't, what do I need to do next? It's, who am I becoming?